Welcome to Optimove Connect 2025. In this spotlight, we're going to be hitting on some real hot topics. One that really stands out in the industry at the moment is real-time personalization and Opti-X. I have two experts in the field with me today. Maria, who is head of CRM and Personalisation at the Rand Group. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you.
And Matt, who is the director of Personalisation at Optimove. Guys, it's a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yep, good to be here.
What I thought we'd just have a look at here is the evolution of personalization in iGaming. Maria, tell us about your role and how personalization fits into your work.
Well, in my company, we take personalization very seriously because we care about customer. We want to have this customer first thinking, and we want to deliver something that speaks to our customer. We want to show that we know them, we know what they like, and they're very valuable to us. That's why it's the only way to create this engagement with the brands and win hearts of our customers.
Fantastic. And why would you say personalization is such a critical part of CRM and player engagement these days?
Well, we've seen an evolution lately. A couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago, it was somewhat nice to have. At the moment, all the companies provide personalization in one form or another. And we know that consumer behavior changed. We no longer have a will to learn how certain websites work. And maybe it's worth to mention what I actually mean by personalization. So to me, personalization is about showing relevant content. It's about some user journeys without additional steps and unnecessary corners. And it's also about relevant timing. So customer expects all that because they're accustomed to very good experience with big companies like Netflix, big retailers who show them only relevant content that they want to buy. And unless we show something meaningful to our customers, they will leave and they will go elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, and that brings me on to, so Matt, with your expertise, with your perspective, why has personalization shifted from a nice to have to a business necessity for operators like the Rand Group?
Yeah, great question. I mean, as Maria said, customers expect it now. They expect when you land on site, whether it's mobile or app, that the brand knows you. And if they don't know you, then loyalty can be very, very quickly lost or not even gained. So they'll go somewhere else. So when you land on site, it's now a necessity to be able to deliver content and recommended content and content that's important to the operator and the player that's relevant to them, that might interest them, that might get them to where they want to go as quickly as possible so that they then engage with the brand and have a good experience and then want to come back because they know that they're going to find things that they want to play with and they want to engage with. So it's really critical that operators use technology to find that balance. And then how that feeds into the CRM aspect is that kind of symmetric messaging where the experience they have on site can then be communicated through to the messaging that is then sent to them via their CRM. So it's really, really powerful. And operators that aren't doing it are suffering because there are many, many operators that are doing it.
What do you think is either the single most valuable or the biggest impact personalization can have on player engagement, but also revenue, right? That's why we're here.
Yeah, I think it's the ability to do it at scale. It's the ability to use technology so that every individual player gets a personalized experience so that you're not just doing it. You can do it at a group level, a target group level. You know, new players get this experience, VIP players get this experience. But if you can do it at an individual level, then every single player gets an experience that's relevant to them. And then that means that you're hitting much more, many more players, many more customers, and you're doing it at a broader scale. So that hopefully that will drive GGR and everything for the brand that they can continue to kind of offer new services and grow and make money.
I agree with you. It's very easy to track impact of personalization if you take one particular example. So if you test non-personalized communication and personalized communication with personalized subject line, with truly personalized content, we saw 3 times higher engagement with these personalized contents. 3 times more players are coming through personalized email. But if I only send one personalized email with one particular use case, it's not going to make a difference for the company. The difference, you'll really see impact on your retention rates and on your revenue when you do it at the scale, when you have fully personalized pages, when you display relevant games to customer before they started entering the search keywords. This is a good experience, and this is where they, at each point, they don't have to think why I'm here, what I'm doing. They already see something. We almost predict what they're looking for and give them a reason to try this game while making their experience enjoyable throughout their journey.
And like, you guys have been in this space for a while. We had a chat before the cameras were on. Exactly how long have you been doing this for now?
So I've been leading Opti-X at Optimove now for over 2 years.
Great.
And I've been in the industry for a number more years than that. So, yeah.
I've been in the industry for over 18 years now, and I've been in personalization and specifically AI-based personalization since 2019.
All right, so my question is going to be to you here. Going back to what we said at the start, this is a hot topic, but the evolution of personalization. What have you seen from 2019 to now 25? What changes have you seen? And just a bit of your experience would be awesome.
If I can take a step back and go all the way to 2007, if you allow me that.
Let's go back that far.
Let's go back that far. My career started in content management, right? And I remember everything being extremely manual. You had to change your site daily in real time. You had to publish the changes. You had to manually put specific markets, features online, as well as your customers not going to see it. And we had zero visibility of customer behavior. So we were only looking at the transactional data, and I had no clue if customers are interested or not in what I'm showing to them. And the big evolution was when we got access to web analytics data. This is the key point when we started to look at the customer behavior, and then we could identify some pain points where our users are being stuck, when users are leaving the pages, when they're struggling with the user journeys. And equally, we could see what elements are getting better engagement from the customer. And at the time, I was mainly involved with sports, and I had to take some hard decisions. For example, if I have in play tennis right now and some big football games, I had to choose what to put in the primary position. And I was thinking at the time, oh, how cool would it be if I had a magic wand that would show football to punters who want to bet only on football, and tennis to those who are betting on tennis. At the time, it did not exist. And then in 2019...
You got that magic wand.
I got this magic wand started testing some first use cases and displaying truly personalized content in the right order for the customer.
Brilliant. Well, what a journey that's been, right? So do you think you'll be here for a bit longer, or have you had enough of personalization?
Oh, no. I think it's, it's going to evolve. It's going to continue, especially with the Gen AI. I can see it's going even further, deeper, and we still have quite a lot of questions to solve with the personalization of the offers, more than content, with the personalization of the user journey, future optimization and gamification of the journeys.
Yeah, I think we're only really just getting started with the possibilities around personalization. The ability to offer one-to-one recommendations was almost like phase one. And it's now, how can we take the use of AI, and all the buzzwords, AI, machine learning, Gen AI, to make it even more powerful at a more global level, and really kind of accelerate how we can interact with customers, because it's really important you show the right content to the right player at the right time, and even like it through your channels on the channel they prefer. And it's how you make that as fluid as possible so that you're always engaging, you're always moving, things are always changing, and you're always driving that kind of engagement.
No, I get it. A player myself. I was a player before I came into the industry. I love it. And yeah, it's very difficult and time consuming and frustrating in a way when you couldn't get to what you wanted as quick. So we've seen a shift from acquisition-driven strategies to retention-driving marketing. What's behind this shift, do you think?
Data.
Okay.
So we looked at the numbers. We realized that we spend so much money on acquisition. We're obsessed with acquisition. We're focused on acquisition only. And then the challenge is really to retain those customers. Don't get me wrong. We will continue focusing on acquisition. This is how we grow. But equally important element of growth is retention of the customers who you acquired. So you need to have a decent onboarding program for your new customers, and then decent retention model for your new customers. And it's much easier to retain a customer when they love your product and love your brand.
Yeah, and I think it's quite clear the cost to retain a customer is much lower than the cost to acquire.
Absolutely.
And the barrier to entry for operators in the market is quite low. It's quite easy to set up set up as an operator, and so there are so many operators in the market that when you capture a customer, they know you. If they like the experience, if they're getting a personalized experience, then they're more likely to. We can all empathize with that in our everyday life, in retail and gambling, everything. That we go where we like the experience, we like the product, we like what we're doing, we feel like we are understood and that we're known. So if you can empathize it, then you can really hopefully kind of work on that when you're trying to put that product out to the market.
I think it says a lot about you as well when you're retaining, right? It's quite easy to catch people on bonuses, but if you're retaining someone for a while. So, okay, so that's all the positive stuff, right? Tell me, what are the biggest challenges operators are facing at the moment when trying to deliver truly personalized experiences on a scale?
The challenge is mainly with the integrations of different systems and some difficulty with the data sometimes. It's all about structure of the data. I give you a simple example. Our inventory files, to be able to recommend something, recommendation engine needs to know what's actually available for recommendation. So you need to have a clear attribution of all the markets for sports, all the odds classification and all that. And on the gaming side, you have to have a library of all your games that are currently available with all the relevant information for the engine to process. And what happened historically, and I've seen it with many different companies, there was an element of manual data entry when releasing the games, and games had been released for years and years, and system evolved over the time. So then you might find that your library is inconsistent, and it's sometimes difficult for the model to take this information. Well, model will take this information, but recommendations will be as good as the data that you inputted into the model. And you need to do some cleanup work before you start making recommendations. That's one of the challenges. And second challenge is connecting all the systems and integrating. But my advice here would be to prioritize, identify where you're going to get the biggest value. So it could be integration with your A/B testing platform or directly with your CMS system, so you can start personalizing experience online, and equally integration with your CRM system, so you can streamline your CRM, and it will significantly improve your speed to market as well. And then you can focus on remaining bits.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. We've seen that from our side. The data is so important. Putting a platform in place that can integrate with the existing systems. I'd also say the other challenges we see is real time. You know, it's the sports betting market moves at 100 miles an hour. There are so many, odds changing, games happening, schedules moving, and it's making sure the technology can keep up with what's happening in real time so that players are getting the right recommendation at the right time before an event finishes. And so that's really, really critical. And I think the other aspect to build on top of that as well is having a clear strategy around how you want to personalize, understanding what personalization is. There are so many different ways you can do personalization. You can do recommendations, you can give players their own personalized lobby, you can do personalized communications, in-play live updates, and there's so much you can do with personalization. It's building that strategic vision and understanding how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, why you're doing it, what's the reason behind it, what are your business goals, what are you trying to achieve as a company, and how can adding that personalization layer on top of your CRM, on top of how you do things already, is going to impact that. So, yeah, it's a really big strategic.
It's a minefield. All of those games, all of those odds changing rapidly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's impossible to deliver real time by human, right?
Yeah.
So if systems struggle to keep up with this speed, it's absolutely impossible for humans. So it's already a step further from where we were 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
So this wouldn't be a modern podcast if we didn't talk about AI. So I've got a question for you both. So this is the role of real-time personalization with AI. So Maria, can you share a real-world example of real-time personalization that significantly improved player engagement with AIs? Do you have any examples or?
I have my favorite example that everybody gets. It's a very simple one. Even if you're not betting or playing any games, you can relate to that. So again, we came up with this use case looking at our data. So we've seen that we have certain large proportion of customers who are browsing our websites and leaving without any gameplay. So they have an account with us, they logged in, they browsed, and they didn't find anything that was appealing to them today. And then we automated some communications to retarget those customers in real time when they left, because we know they are interested, they're there, they have time to play, and they have not found anything appealing. So we send some recommendations to them straight away in real time, and this is one of the most powerful campaigns.
Matt, how does AI-powered personalization differ from sort of traditional rule-based approaches?
I would say, probably back to something I said before, it enables you to scale much, much quicker. If it's rule-based, you need a human to make sure those rules are working, and you can only do so much with that. If you're letting AI learn and grow and really kind of accelerate the speed to getting a recommendation out, to getting a layout out, I think it just enables you to scale, and it also enables you to have lots of personalization happening across your site for that one player at much, much bigger kind of impact. So it's a complete game changer. And for the product teams, the teams that are managing the technology as well, it means there's less manual work for them to do. So they don't have to keep going in and checking those rules and updating. We kind of say set and forget. You can let an algorithm go, let it run. And Optimove is very, very big ethos around test and control, test and learn. Okay. So you can always test a recommendation against like a control group that doesn't get any kind of personalization, see the business impact. So AI just enables you to completely automate and run at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I normally get into debates with people at the moment, whether they're for or against. I think it's safe to say that you guys are totally for AI.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Can I add on the previous
of course you
topic? So to me, it's also speed to market. And when we were talking about positionless marketing, my senior personalization manager who was with me said, we are already there. Okay, and it's true. He is already there, and his team, they're extremely efficient, very quick. They have no dependency on any other departments. They don't need designers to produce a banner specific to their campaign, and we can release some campaigns as quick as in 5 minutes in real time, and it will be relevant to the current situation with the current trading results, and they can do it quickly, efficiently, they can analyze it, and they can check everything by themselves. They're independent, and this is the biggest difference that I've seen. Previously, you had a lot of different departments involved in the production cycle. You depend on design, and it takes sometimes weeks. You need somebody to explain to designer what they have to produce for this particular campaign. They need to request the copy. They need to get all the pieces of puzzle together. Sometimes it comes not in the best shape. You have to push it back. You have to wait again until it's going to get prioritized. We worked historically with some not very user-friendly tools where you need to put all this communication together. Now we have a single platform where you can control everything. You don't have to request any banners. All the assets are pulled dynamically from that inventory system that we discussed. And most importantly, and this is what really makes OptiX different from other recommendation tools, my colleagues, without any specific developer skills, they can control what is the logic of recommendation. So I don't need decision science to work on each and every use case. I have a library of use cases already available for me to choose from, and I can further make some tweaks. For example, I can recommend any game from a category that will be relevant for the player, or I can recommend a game from that category that they have not yet played. And I don't need any code knowledge to put it all together and create a campaign within 5 minutes, believe it or not.
It sounds like you can do quite a lot.
You're playing it down
slightly. OptiX, Optimove's live or real-time personalization solution. Can I give you this spotlight on it for a second?
I mean, Opti-X was built for the iGaming industry. It was an acquisition that Optimove made 3 years ago for a company called Graphite that was born out of two very, very clever developers who wanted to build personalization they were at Ladbrokes and Coral about almost 10 years ago now. And they it was so difficult to do it in-house. It was the resources, it's really hard to do because there's so much complexity around it. So they looked at the market. There was nothing available on the market that really met their needs. So they were like, actually, I think we can do this ourselves.
Right.
So they left and they set up Graphite, so they built this personalization tool for the iGaming industry, for sports betting and for casino. So it was born for this industry. The algorithms are tailored to run at 1 million miles an hour to meet the demands of the iGaming industry. And it is mature, really, really powerful. And it's now under the Optimove kind of umbrella as Opti-X rebranded, X for experience. It's got an even more powerful lease of life because when you take on-site personalization and you connect it with CRM personalization, which is what Optimove Core is built for the iGaming industry, you have that complete one voice and that you kind of own the whole customer journey and you can personalize the whole customer journey. So it is just completely, excuse the pun, game-changing for the industry.
So let's just say you've got 15 seconds. I hope this sounds like I'm putting you on the spot. I know you guys know what you're doing.
No challenge.
You've got a bunch of operators that come into the room.
Yeah.
Why is it important and how powerful is it for operators in this current landscape 2025?
I think if you aren't doing personalization, then you're being left behind. Because if you're not doing it, your competitor is doing it. And that's not a scare tactic, it's a fact. We work with over 1,000 brands globally with Opti-X. And it's a competitive market. There are other personalization providers on the market that are also working. So if you're not doing it, then your customers are gonna, go to a brand that really does personalize for them.
You're in a horse and cart and everyone else is driving a car.
Yeah.
Balancing automation and human strategy. AI and automation are changing the market, of course. What essential role do humans play, though, in personalization?
Good question.
Like yourself, Maria.
If I could automate everything, I would totally automate everything and spend my days making tweaks. So to me, it's continuous improvement cycle.
Yeah.
You think about a campaign, you think about problem statement that you want to resolve, you think about best ways of addressing, and as global as it can get, the best way of doing it. And then you simply monitor the performance of your campaign, and you constantly improve and evolve. You constantly look for new ways to present it to customer, because we want to keep content always fresh. You can't have the same selling points every month and expect that customers will be equally excited with that. You need to always think creatively how to present the recommendations, the relevant content to them. But at the same time, you must always think about automation, because BU campaigns are not going to bring you as much return, and it will never have desired level of relevancy for the customer. And it means that our jobs are evolving. So if 5 years ago, a CRM executive was mainly spending their days briefing for the assets, waiting, pushing back, thinking how to explain to designer what they want to get on the banner, how to explain to copywriter, all that, and spending not so much time on analysis, not so much time on planning, not so much time exploring customer behavior, not so much time thinking what customer wants. Now we can forget about all these boring parts and focus on something that is really exciting. And it's not easy. You have to take your team on a journey. You have to educate them. You have to sometimes even insist that we start working differently. But believe me, once they get it, they will love it, because it's less, it's more exciting work. It's less boring stuff on a daily basis.
Like how hard is it though, like maintaining a player first creative approach and the balance with you, and how hard is that, keeping that balance?
Well, there will be always interests from the company perspective. So what we want to sell as opposed to what customers want to buy. But after all, it's all about customer. And if you really push some product that is not popular, which is not what customer wants, then it's not going to bring you desired results and not enough revenue.
Guys, what is the future? Like, we've come a long way since 2007. What's the future of personalization in iGaming? So, okay, let's look a little closer at this. So, what trends will shape the future of personalization in gaming? Like over the next few years, Matt, this is what you do. You're in those talks already. What can you share without letting the cat out of the bag?
I think the future is continuously delivering more innovation around personalization to our customers, so that they're always getting new things to try and work with. We've got a load of new things. We've just announced recently something called Opti-Live, which is live in-play odds, tips and boosts. So it's personalizing the in-play message, which is really, really hard to do with some really powerful data. We've got things like personalized landing pages coming. We're innovating on the existing platform. So I think it's just to continually innovate and just drive the ability to give operators more.
What do you think what do you think operators should start doing to stay ahead of personalization? What would you recommend?
Opti-X.
Opti-X. Brilliant. That's enough there. You heard it here first. Okay.
Can I also answer about
sure,
the future?
Of course.
That's all right. I think there are two main factors that define the future. One is consumer and how their behavior changes. So if you think about how the marketeers worked before mobile markets, it was completely different. And now we see change in consumer behavior. Previously, we wanted to feed everything within this small mobile screen they had. And now we know that consumers, they're more accustomed to scrolling. They want this endless feed.
Understand your consumers really.
Now it's all about how to present it. And the attention span is getting smaller and smaller. So how do we capture attention of the customer right away? How do we find the right words to sell the product? And this is where second factor steps up. This is the power of Gen AI and this new technology, and there will be more and more test and learn until we get this formula and connect the Gen AI with even deeper hyper-personalization to find a way to capture customer attention in real time.
Maria, you're probably going to have a lot of people reach out to you after this, maybe even recruiters. You've been doing this since 2007, so whether you like it or not, you are a leader in this space. What could you give to other operators? What could you recommend, sort of as a closing thought here?
I think we must adapt to the changes in technology, and if you're working with the legacy stack, if you're working with the legacy processes, you will be finding yourself in a difficult position. Your people costs will be huge, but you're not going to get return on investment from your people costs. I'm not saying fire all your employees and get Opti-X. No, I'm saying adapt modern ways of working and get the best out of your people and get them on a journey.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. And Matt, give me one takeaway for operators wanting to scale personalization effectively.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is, we talk about AI and machine learning and the ability to offer, kind of untold personalization. The key thing is having a tool in place that can manage that properly. And the ability to put rules in and the ability to always have that human element that can control it. So it's really important to use it, but manage it properly.
Thanks ever so much, guys.
Thank you.
Would you like to add anything else? Or?
No.
Thanks ever so much. I'm Ross from Next.io, and I've been joined today with experts in the space, Maria from the Rank Group and Matt from Optimove. Thanks for watching and listening.